I love a good old-fashioned penalty controversy. Sometimes I feel like it's the only thing that keeps me alive. Sometimes I feel like it's the only thing that funds this channel. Right, as we close in on 100,000 people that partake in Zealandism in one way or another, I feel like we couldn't have made it here without. We couldn't have made it here without penalty shouts. But this one is near and dear to my heart because I have a strange affinity for the Scottish League. I come from one of those U.S. families, one of those American families that got really into genealogy when I was a little kid and just absolutely hammered the family tree. And the Shannons come from West Scotland, apparently, by Campbelltown or whatever. So I went on a little trip when I was in high school or something to that area to be like, oh, we went to where they were, the lads were from. And the first shirt I bought there was a Celtic jersey. They were Celtic fans there. And I then got really into Football Manager. And hold on. What? I'm totally fine. I started my Football Manager save with Celtic, and I've just spent a lot of time in the Scottish League. I've spent a lot of time interacting with the Scottish League. For some reason, Fox Soccer Plus on the Extra Sports TV package that we had growing up had a bunch of Scottish League. So I've actually watched a decent amount of the Scottish League as well over years. And I have always dreamed of the day. This might come as a surprise. You might think I'm going a different direction given the Celtic loyalties that I discussed previously. They're not that strong. I have always dreamed of the day where a new team would win. Right? As an American sports fan, new teams win all the time. It's rare when the same team wins multiple times in a row, right? So Scotland being almost the first league that I became familiar with outside of the English league system and the FIFA video games, it was like I wanted the new team to win. And this year, it is happening. This year, it's been happening all year. Hearts. Not even Aberdeen, not Hibs, not... there's other teams that I would have thought had a better shot at it, but Hearts has been the team of Midlothian variety that has just been running away with the league. They were top of the league early in the season, and everybody kind of went... Then they've stayed top of the league basically the entire year. And not that long ago, they managed to beat Rangers. Their final match of the season was always going to be Celtic, though. So we knew there was the potential for drama. And Celtic is the real big bad boss. Even though Rangers has come back from bankruptcy or whatever the hell it was to fight its way back into the top league and contend for titles, Celtic is the big bad wolf in the league. They have been for a while. And they have bullied every team in this league into submission. And yet, Hearts perseveres. And somehow all of this comes down to the second to last match day with Celtic against vintage Scottish League club Motherwell. On the road, the match is 2-2. We're in stoppage time. If Celtic draws this match, they're going to need to beat Hearts by 3 goals on the final match day because they're losing on goal difference. If Celtic wins, then a win in the final match day against Hearts would be enough for Celtic to go all the way through. Anytime you have a league that's been dominated by one team for so long, there's always a bit of a conspiracy theory that one team is just going to have the league like completely tilted towards them. Look at Real Madrid, for example, right? Where the idea is that they're going to be able to influence referees in order to be able to win the games that they want to win or get the results that they need to get. I don't normally buy into that, but to me it is one of the few logical explanations for one of the most inexplicably stupid and unbelievably bad VAR calls that's ever been made, especially considering the stakes and the implications on the entire league as a whole. I don't think I'm being dramatic with that. We'll go ahead and watch it here. This play... Right, let's go ahead and watch this. Is Celtic Motherwell. Look at the clock when they're reviewing this, right? Like, this is basically the last play of the game. Celtics wearing the hoops. The solid color is Motherwell, right? Match again is 2-2. This is in the Motherwell box, right? And what they're doing here is they're reviewing this play for what looks like an elbow on Austin Trusty, who's actually an American player, right? That's the whole play. The ball comes into the box. They're looking at it to see if he elbowed Austin Trusty in the ear. And as you can tell, it's a terrible call because it's not an elbow. But that's not even what they're calling here. What they're calling here is a handball, which if you're like me, you didn't notice the first couple times that you watched this. You didn't notice that there was a potential handball at all. You know why? Because there's not. Now watch it again. Austin Trusty, in an attempt to win the ball, has hit this guy's elbow. The guy's elbow then shoots up in front of his head, which he's heading the ball anyways. He's not I can't even begin to start to explain the biomechanics of this process, which are apparently not taught in school in Scotland. The fact that if somebody hits your elbow, your arm goes up. The fact, what is he supposed to do? Turn into one of those guys in front of a car dealership and just... It doesn't make any... I don't know what the expectation is for this man in this situation. I don't know. I don't think that there is any reasonable expectation for this man in this situation. It is a diabolical call. There was an instant uproar about this because obviously this goal just changes a lot of the feel of the final match of the season, and it reeks of either incompetence or favoritism. There's only one of the two. I'm sorry, because if this is going to be a handball, the hand has to be in an unnatural position. He's not doing either of the two things that qualify as a handball. I'm pretty liberal with calling things handballs here, but it has to be in an unnatural position, or it has to be making the body bigger. It's not doing either of those things. He doesn't use his hand to change the direction of the ball in any way. This ball, in fact, is making a beeline for his head anyways. He's going to win this header, right? And his hand gets knocked into the path of the ball. It's incredibly unlucky. I don't know how you could possibly, this doesn't negatively affect the game in any way. And I think a columnist, I read a column about this that I thought was really interesting. It's from this guy, Ewan Murray, on The Guardian. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says in the column. He says they should completely get rid of VAR. But he makes a good point, which I often agree with VAR stuff, is on the field, there was not a visceral reaction to this play. There was not like an instant group of Celtic players surrounding the referee going, ah, 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 like the normal shit. That wasn't happening. And if VAR didn't exist, and this was the VAR that sent it back, it was the VAR that said, hey, you should take a look at this. That was the process here. If the VAR hadn't decided, nobody would have thought twice about this. There wouldn't have been a large cadre of Celtic fans going, we were robbed. Look at this handball. It wasn't a major, it was the type of incident that would have easily just disappeared into the mists of history without anybody ever paying it a second thought. Except the VAR, for some reason, saw it and decided that he wanted to call the ref over, and the ref then took what I would describe as an appallingly short look at this play. As if the entire goal was just to determine whether any, molecule of this guy's hand touched the ball, at which point we were just going to award a penalty. Right? It is just a diabolical call. It is a dog shit call. In the spirit of the game, and in my opinion, in the letter of the law, is a call that just doesn't make any sense. He's not making himself bigger. Right? His hand's not in an unnatural position. He's not really affecting the play in any way with where his hand is, not to mention the guy on the other team is the guy that knocked his hand into the way of the ball in the first place. It's like running up behind somebody, smacking him in the back of the arm, and your arm goes forward and hits the ball. It's not even that bad, right? Because it's literally right here. It's just an insane call. And if Celtic wins 1 or 2-0 in the next match, then, obviously you're rewriting history a little bit, then Hearts should be the champion. Because this is one of those point deciding calls. I know that's not actually going to happen, and dog shit calls happen, and you just have to get over it. But now there's a lot of eyes that are turned towards this game, like Hearts' call for Saturday's title decider to be decided by the players rather than the match officials. Scottish FA have decided to stand by the referee. I actually haven't seen this yet, but I can't wait for this fucking explanation. Somebody said if the blatant handball was given as a penalty in any other minute of the match, nobody would have said anything, but they're all outraged because it was the last minute. It's just not. This is something the guy said in the column too. It's just not a handball. It's just not. If you use your critical thinking, if you rub a couple of brain cells together for warmth, right? Just get 3 of them together and start going like that. you're going to start the fire and you're going to go, oh my God. It knocked his arm into the way of the ball. Like, where is his arm supposed to go? Is he supposed to jump like this? He's jumping up like this, and the guy hits his arm, and it's just crazy to me. The hoop. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that, steams my clams the most. Is these, not sure why it's so controversial. I'm just blown away by this. I'm blown away by it. I'm convinced these people have never watched or played the sport. It's just like rage bait on the internet, right? If this call, and I'm speaking from personal experience here, as a guy that I have had my face printed out and darts thrown at me on Scottish football message boards before, because apparently they still use message boards because they haven't gotten out of the Stone Age yet. If this call had gone against Rangers or Celtic, I'm just going to throw Rangers in there too, the big two here. If this call had gone against them, they would burn Utica to the ground. The war that would be declared by the fans of Celtic, if they had this call go against them, for example, like in the next match or whatever, to give Hearts a pen to win the league, there wouldn't be a Scottish league. There would be nuclear war in Glasgow. Do not give me the bullshit for a second that you can find a way to justify this call. If you are a fan of the team who is wronged by this call, you are inconsolable. It is an unbelievably stupid call. It is a call that nobody noticed at the time. It is a call that no one notices ever. It is not a call, it is not in the same category of, well, if this had been called in any other minute, everybody would be fine. I'm just going to start arguing with Reddit comments at this point. Well, I don't know why it's so controversial. It looked like a handball. They could have used another angle for the ref, but seeing other angles after it definitely hits his hand. That's not the fucking question. If it hits the goalkeeper's hand, it's not a problem. You know why? Because that's legal. You might think that's a stupid point, but there are legal moments in which the ball can hit your hand, particularly when another guy knocks it into the way of the ball in the first place. And it's not extending your body, and you're not affecting the ball, and literally none of the boxes are checked. Let's stop. This isn't special victims unit football. This isn't some sort of legal drama. I don't want to be doing this. If you look at this and your brain goes, yes, that should be a handball, correct call. I want the sport that I'm a fan of to call that a handball. I want that play to be the one that has the potential to decide the title because that's just good football. Then I don't understand you. I don't. Get real with me for a second. It's a bullshit call. It's not the first one. It's not the last one. But it is a bullshit call. And my goodness, I don't know if this sort of play will ever happen again. But, people need to stop describing Stonewall pins as controversial. Some people I don't think you can help. The internet really introduces you to the number of people. I lose hope for humanity every day.